Hello, applied math students. Welcome to room 261. This video is in regards to our lesson on means and medians and quartiles, which, in particular, we're going to learn on this video how to use our calculator to help us do this. Sometimes the lists get long, and so it's really not all that convenient to write all your numbers down in a list. And so there's two different kinds of problems, really. One is where we have a list of numbers. And so here, number one is just a list of numbers. In game one, there were 6 goals, and in game two, there were 2 goals, and in game three, there were 5 goals, and so on. And so really, this is just a list of 11 numbers in question one. Whereas like in question two, 2 different movies won 3 awards, and 3 different movies won 4 awards, and 3 different movies won 5 awards, and so on. And so this is really a list of the sum of this column here, the sum of the frequencies. And so this is a 2 plus 3 plus 3 is 8 plus 1 is 10. And so this is really a list of 10 things. And so we could make a list, but by the same token, we could use our calculator to help us. And so I thought maybe we would start with one that was just a list of numbers. And so you can see this number 7 here. It says annual household income. And so what we're going to do here is we're going to go to our calculator, and we're going to turn it on. And let me see if I can get this list and the calculator both on our screen. Looks like I can. Yeah, perfect. And so we'll hit the button that says stat, okay? And so you can see my finger was just on it. Hit the stat button, and then your first choice says edit, and that's the one you want. And so you can see that my calculator has some numbers in a list already. Maybe yours does too. If it doesn't, then just hang on for a minute. But if it does, you might want to follow along. You're going to put your cursor up where it says L2. You can see that cursor just moved where it said L2. And then I'm going to hit the clear button, which is where my finger is here. Hit the clear button and then hit enter. And you can see that list will go away. In a similar way, we'll do the same thing with L1. We'll put the cursor up where it says L1. We'll hit the clear button and we'll hit enter. Okay, and now my lists are empty. And so then I'm going to type in these boxes all of the numbers in the list. And so there, 11,000 is one of the numbers, 16,850, 11,350, 8,300, 14,950, 30,500, 14,800, 16,000, 11,400. And so that's a total of 9 numbers. And so we have 9 numbers in that list. Zoom in just a little bit for you. Now, we'd like to find the mean and the median and the quartiles of that list. And so again, it wouldn't have been too hard to do this by hand. There's only 9 of them, but say you had a longer list, you might like a trick. And so what we'll do is we're going to hit the stat button. Okay, maybe I should zoom out again so you can see what buttons I was hitting. I hit the stat button to get to this screen. Okay, then I'm going to go over to where it's highlighted on the calculate. And so you can see that I hit the right button and I got to the point where it said calculate. Then I'm going to choose this very first option where it says 1 variable stats. I hit enter. Then it says list. Okay, and mine already says L1. All right. And that's the list we want, but say it wasn't there. The way that you would get that actually is to hit the second function of the 1 key. You might notice that it has a little L1, so I'd hit second and then L1, and I'd hit enter, and you can see that I have L1 right where I want it to. Frequency list, we're going to leave it blank because we don't have a frequency list, but on the next problem, we will have a frequency list. Then we're going to go down and we're going to hit calculate. And so here we are. And so you can see that the mean is 15,016. So that number right there on the top, X with a bar over it, that's the mean. Okay. And then if you go down a little bit further with your arrows, you're going to see some other numbers. You can see that the lower quartile is 11,175. The median is 14,800. And the upper quartile is 16,425. You could calculate the interquartile range yourself by taking Q3 minus Q1. Okay. And so let's just sort of scroll down here with this question and see that we get those answers. So that was question, what question was it? That was question 7. And so you can see that those are the answers that we got with our calculator. And so I can maybe move that so you can see that the same answers. And so those are the same quartiles and median, and then the mean you can see is that 15,016 number. Okay. All right. Cool. Now let's go to another problem. So one that has a frequency list. It doesn't really matter which one. So maybe we'll do number 11 here. And so in number 11, it's games per World Series. And so we're going to hit stat, just like we did earlier. We're going to hit edit. Okay, and then we need to clear those numbers in L1. So remember, we cursor up to L1, we hit the clear button, which is where my finger is, and then we hit enter, and those numbers go away. And then in L1, we're going to put 4 and 5 and 6 and 7. In L2, we're going to put the frequency list, which is 2, 2, 2, and 5. 2, 2, 2, and 5. Whoops, I accidentally put 8. All right, and so those are my numbers in L1 and L2. And so if I want to find the mean and the median and the quartiles, I'm going to go ahead stat. I'm going to hit calculate. I'm going to hit one variable stats, and then list, frequency list. Now this time the frequency list we want to be L2, so we would hit second, and then the 2 button, and then you'll see that we get L2 up on our screen. And then we're going to hit calculate, and you can see that the mean is 5.909. The lower quartile is 5, the median is 6, and the upper quartile is 7. And so let's just check our answers here again like we did the last time on number 11. You can see that those are in fact the answers that we got. Okay. All right. By the way, some of your calculators might not have this screen, and so let me just show you something. If it hits stat and calculate and one variable stats, if you don't have this menu on your screen, in some calculators, what it says is that you would hit one variable stats, and then let me just write it on this piece of paper, and your calculator would look like this. Right, and then what you want to do there is if it does that and you don't have a frequency list, then you're just going to hit one variable stats and now L1. Remember to hit L1, you hit the second and then the 1 button, okay? And then on the ones that had a frequency list, okay, where you had the numbers in L1 and then the frequencies in L2, you would hit one variable stats and then comma and then L2. And so the comma button, you might not use it all that often, but the comma button is right above the 7. Okay, that's all it is a comma button. All right, and so that would give you a way to do this even if you didn't have that pretty menu on top of your screen. Okay, all right, well, I hope that this video helps you. The one good thing about a video is that you can always pause and rewind it and then take a look and see if it makes sense again. All right. Okay, this concludes our video. Thanks for listening.